Hello guys, it's Claymore here. I know I'm a little bit late on this video, but things have been coming up, what with the preparation for submitting streamer battle duos that I was part of, and some other stuff as well. So finally getting around to it, we're going to run through the 12.7 preliminary patch notes that were released just the other day. A lot of great stuff. This is going to be a huge patch, lots of content, lots of updates, lots of fixes. It's going to be a good time. So let's get right into it. May as well, right? So first off, what we can got here, we've got a lot of additions here, a lot of the new stuff. So we've been we kind of knew we were getting it after a while, but we're getting the customs expansion. Now this, from the looks of things and from the size of the expansion, it's going to increase the overall map size by like another quarter roughly. That's what I think what they said on stream. It's going to be a lot more buildings. It's going to be a new location for Reshala spawn, so Reshala will spawn elsewhere, and there'll be stationary weapons there too, which means that guards and AI can get onto those guns and potentially make it even harder for you to access the area. It'll be really cool. And next up, of course, what everyone's mostly hyped for, Sanitar, the new scab boss for Shoreline. So he was an X-Terra group scientist, and he gathered with a gang of former colleagues and operates on the Shoreline. He actively uses professional skills in combat, quickly healing himself and the gang members, so he served as more of a medic than, like, let's say a stormtrooper like Killer, or an overwhelming kind of troop like Glukar and his boys. He used various stimulants and medications, including those of his own production. He can quickly perform surgery by pulling out a bullet or applying a tourniquet on the field. Sometimes he's loyal to the scabs and can leave a couple of first aid kits and other medical supplies for his own group members on location. There's going to be a very team-oriented kind of scab boss. He'll mostly rely on keeping his gang members alive and making sure that they make your life pretty difficult. Really excited for Sanitar. As someone who's recently got to Shoreline and is really getting into it, I'm very happy with this addition, and I'm loving just the sound of his behavior. It sounds like it's going to be super dynamic to play against and more of a challenge than, I guess, let's say Reshala and other scab bosses out there. We are getting new quests for Shoreline, obviously. I'm sure that Jaeger will be introducing a new scab boss killing quest for Sanitar, and something we've been asking for a while now: a system reporting suspicious players, unacceptable nicknames, and game bug abusers on the post-match screen, which is big. We've been asking for this for a while. Rather than having to go out for the launcher and submit quite an awkward route, we can literally just submit an obvious cheater report right after the end of the raid, or someone exploiting a bug. And Nikito actually clarified that on stream. He said that if anyone is caught exploiting anything that is obviously broken in the game, they will get banned or punished. So considering we're all familiar with that part of the player base, we'll be seeing a lot more honest gameplay hopefully from this point on. Now this is probably the next part that I'm most excited for and most hyped for. We're getting, it looks like, a complete overhaul, or at least a complete upgrade on AI behavior, just regular AI behavior. Bots can pick up items now, which is insane. They can actually go around and actually loot bodies left behind, either fellow scabs or whatnot, or just loot containers in general, which means killing scabs might actually be more beneficial to you now. They might have more of the loot that you pushed for in some of the more open rooms, and they might have more varied loot on them. Really great. I've been asking for this for a while, to be honest with you, so I'm really happy they included this. Improved AI behavior when they see bodies. Bots can now pick up a second firearm from bodies. AI can now greet over a player's scab showing their peaceful intentions, and bots will eat and drink and also check their mags whilst in peaceful mode. So you'll have more of an inclination as to know which scabs are like peaceful with you and which ones are more in the hyper aggressive state. And it says here that if they're not sure whether or not you're peaceful or not, they'll aim at you for some time, if they're not sure of your intentions, which is going to be really cool. If you've just killed a guard, because obviously how scabs operate on maps is they all belong to gangs. So if you kill one guard, one scab in an area, another area, the scabs won't attack you, as a scab player, that is. So it'll be very interesting to see how they react in that scenario. Bots will sprint while patrolling if they consider the spot being dangerous. AI will be able to storm the player as a group if he's holding position and attacking them. That's interesting, because that could open up more counters to people who play more sedentary, like if they're sitting in a building and they're just sniping, or they're sitting on a cliff or a bush and sniping. If they're attacking scabs, there's a very good chance that scabs will rush them, which I think is a really cool concept. Interested to see if it'll be executed properly, considering the tagged and curse mechanic right now. It's a bit funny, but we'll see what happens anyways. And AI will try to avoid dangerous places. So AI are going to be smarter. They're going to be more smarter. They're going to be a bit, from the sounds of things, they're going to behave more like scavs, which is great. Now this one here is dividing a lot of people right now. The FNGL40 grenade launcher. Now, we're not getting an underbarrel mounted grenade launcher. We're getting a standalone weapon, like a little grenade launcher in and of itself. There was a brief showcase on the stream. It looked very strong. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was one clip, and I'm sure many of you have seen it, where the guy shot a wall about 10 meters away from him, and his entire body went red. That's the blast radius, what we're talking about here. So I don't know if that was a bug or not. I'm hoping it was. But this might be very, very strong, really strong. And hopefully it'll be very expensive too, because obviously grenade launchers, they should be expensive. And we're also getting a new shotgun, a new Mossberg 590A1 shotgun. It's a pumpy, if I'm correct, since we showed it a little bit on the stream. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Shotguns are always good. So we're getting some new ammo types here. I'm not going to go for all of them. I'm just going to pick out some other ones that are notable. Like this one, for example. That we're getting a 366 armor piercing round, which is very interesting. The stats in this thing is going to have roughly 90 damage and 40 plus pen. This round is going to hurt. Level 4 armor, sorry. This round is going to hurt, so I'll be very interested to see how many people actually use this weapon and how many people will be able to perform with this sniper. I'm happy we're getting that though. As far as its availability goes, we'll have to see what level it's available at and if there are any barters for it earlier on. We'll see. But it gives us more options to use. We can actually use the 209s a lot more efficiently now if we wanted to. We have these options now, which is great. Battlestate giving us more options, more calibers, more buffs, rather than just the standard assault rifle meta or the standard other cycling weapon metas in the game. So I'm very happy to hear that. We're getting a lot of different ammo types here. Some 9x19, some 45 ACP. I'm assuming that's ready to be ahead of the Vector when that comes out. And we're getting a new 7.62x51 round, M993. This will be interesting. And all these are grenade launcher grenades, I suppose. Not really rounds, are they? All these are the grenade launcher rounds. We're getting a buckshot one here too. That'll be interesting. So these are the new stimulants we're getting added. Now, as far as I'm aware, some of these we can buy or find in the usual stim spawns, but some of them are going to be specific to Sanitar, new Scav boss, and I believe it'll be these last 2 or 3 here. I could be wrong about that though. We're getting 3 BTG, L1, Noradrenaline, P22 Specimen 22, AHF1-M, Meldonin, Obdol Boss Cocktail, and the Mule Stim. Now, I don't know about all the stims. I can tell you that Mule will increase your carrying capacity, yet also deal ticking damage to you. And one of these stims, you'll forgive me if I don't remember which one it is, but one of these stims will give you a 20% damage reduction, which I think will be a meta stim pretty much for every chat user out there. And we're also getting an additional icon for the network connection status in the high packet loss, so a little bit more ability to measure your connection, I suppose you could say. And in the container slots window, the container tag is now displayed in the header. Cool. I mean, that's nice. So next up, skill reworks. And now this is the first iteration of some skill reworks. We're not getting a complete overhaul yet, but this is what we're going to be having so far. So we've got a couple new skills. One is called Surgery. Reduces the HP penalty for surgery, improves surgery speed, and the elite perks are no HP penalty for the restored body part, and a maximum increase in the speed of surgery. So, as we all know, surgical kits, either CMSs or Survival 12s, it takes some time to use, between 10 and 15 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously this is a long time. The best times you guys do this is after a firefight or just before a firefight, in case you're already wounded. So the ability to be able to restore more health with the surgical kit of your choice and also do it quicker is always welcome. I'm really happy they included this. I'm wondering if surgery may be also directly affected by health, because obviously healing increases health. We'll see. So new skill there. Looking forward to do that. We got another new skill here called Aim Drills, which is increases the aiming speed and decreases the volume of aiming, so we can aim quicker, which will be, I'm not sure if that will change anything right now. I'm not too sure if the ergonomic system will be impacted pretty heavily by this. But I mean, hey, you'll be able to use things like Ash 12s and aiming quicker. That's pretty good. And the elite perks for this will be no handshaking at any stamina value, first 2 seconds after aiming, and reduce handshaking during Tremor and Fracture the first 2 seconds after aiming. Now, a while ago, I submitted a form when Battlestate were asking for some feedback in terms of skill reworks. And I suggested for some skills having a grace period where things like blacked out limbs or fractured limbs, something like the skill itself would govern the grace period and give you a certain amount of time just in case you're in that tight spot. And it seems they did that, and I'm really happy they did that. I'm really happy they took my feedback on, and I'm really happy they considered this, because that's big deal. That's a big deal. Sorry. That's a big deal. That means that even if your arms are both buggered up, you'll be able to, I'm assuming, at least hopefully, not constantly toggle aim in and out for 2 seconds. I know that'll generate noise, but just having that elite perk and knowing you can fall back onto it rather than have to back up and do a surgery. Great. Fantastic addition, Battlestate. Really happy you pick up my feedback. So, of course, we've got some reworks here. So, rework of the strength skill, increase all weight limits, increases the speed of sprint, increases jump height, increase the strength of range throw, increase the strength of melee attack. Now, this is all stuff that strength already governs, but we're getting better bonuses now. We're probably going to be getting percentile increases, nothing too insane, but hey, makes the weight system a little bit less punishing, and stamina will be a bit easier to manage too until you hit those higher endurance levels. So the elite perks, as stated before, and I believe this was the case anyways, the weight does not take into account the weapons on the sling on the back. So both your weapons you've got primary equipped and your sling, not going to add any weight at all to your loot, which is pretty big deal, because that means you can basically run a CQB weapon and a sniper and not have to worry about it affecting your weight whatsoever, which is pretty big. I've never gotten to this stage, so, you know, maybe one day. The melee attack can be stronger than usual. I don't know if we had this already. Like I said, I've never gotten to this end of the skill, but, you know, I'm about to bring that the Dover cheeky when I get the elite strength. And we've got a rework of the endurance skill here. Increase feet stamina, reduce stamina consumption for jumping, increase holding breath time for an ADS, increase the speed of breath recovery. So once again, percentile increases more than likely for everything endurance already governs. And we are getting some extra elite perks here. Maximum increase in breathing recovery rate. Breathing is no longer dependent on energy, and increased stamina reserve. So some stuff we've had before, but some additions to it too. And we've got various fixes and old skills. And now I know there's a pretty nasty perception bug where you have to restart your game, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully that's one of them. And this is big. Added 5 HP to the health of chest zone from 80 to 85. So what does that mean? That means that there are going to be some rounds out there that are no longer going to be able to one-tap you to the chest straight away. There are still going to be very powerful rounds, and I'm sure we've got some ammo reworks around the corner, but I think the biggest thing this affects directly is, for example, Mosins and LPS rounds. LPS rounds, if you didn't know, level 1, cheap. Not so much anymore, but still cheapish. And they are very infamous for being able to one-tap 4 axes up to level 4 armor. Considering the availability of the weapon and the ammo type at level 1, pretty powerful. But this changes that. So people who get shot by the Mosin no longer just going to fall over. They'll have a chance to counter it. Sorry if you're a Mosin user, but you just have to learn to adapt. We're getting various optimizations and various bug fixes as per usual and stuff like that. I'll obviously leave the link down below so if you can go for it at your own leisure. But we're just going to go to the bottom here and check out some of the changes. Obviously, that's the last little juicy part. Now it is possible to examine items with the construction requirements screen in the hideout. So, all of the recipes that you have, you'll be able to examine them. So, you're not going to be so awkwardly spending time trying to find the item you need to buy from the flea market because you haven't examined it yet. Which is awesome. Nice little quality of life change. Added displaying the time before the bleeding effect disappears in the stash, so that's good. Timer on the bleed effects. Now, if you're not matched with the raid within 45 minutes, the search will be cancelled. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I get to maybe max 8 minutes matching before I decide to requeue. So, I mean, hey, listen. Thanks, Battlestate. I'm sure. Yeah, this is a good change. Updated SV98 animations. Hold. New animations when entering and exiting a sprint. New hold in the menu and on the loading screen. I'm happy we got this. The SV98 was an old model, and it had an old animation set, so I'm happy we got this. It was due a change. Maybe even, dare I ask, maybe they removed the trigger delay? We'll see. And we've got an updated PPS animation, hold and new animations when entering and executing a sprint. I mean, fair enough. I don't think we needed that. I thought the animations were great already, but fair enough. But that, guys, that's more or less the patch notes. A lot of stuff, a lot of great stuff. We're going to be getting a lot of great stuff coming up in the patch. What are your favorite parts of this patch notes? What are you looking forward to the most? Let me know in the comments down below. Once again, sorry for the lateness of this video. Things have just popped up, and yeah, I would appreciate it if you were to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell. I'm pretty sure that's what most YouTubers ask people to do. I'm pretty sure. And check out my other videos as well. I'll be doing a re-upload, I should say, of the top 10 tips video that I did a while ago. So keep an eye out for that, because it'll have some updated information in there. With that being said, guys, I will catch you all in the next stream. Good night, guys. Take care and peace.